Welcome back to the channel. In this video today, I'm going to give you 5 stretches that are going to give you the most optimal kind of improvement in your karate. If you do these on a regular, consistent basis over a period of time, you are going to see a dramatic improvement in your karate or your martial arts altogether. It's going to take very little time because I understand, of course, that not everyone has all the time in the world to do 15, 20 different stretches every single day. So this is going to be a condensed stretching session, or stretching ideas at least, where you can do these maybe every day if you want to put them in like that, and you'll see a big improvement over a relatively short period of time. So those that have been following my channel for a while would have seen most of these stretches that I'm going to give you today. They're kind of the ones that I like to do, that I feel give me the most benefit for the least amount of effort, I suppose. It's not really effort, but at least the amount of time invested. So I can do these, before every session, when I'm feeling like I need to have a little stretch, and it'll help me out to kind of open everything up. And the 5 stretches are going to cover all the areas that I feel are important for karate specifically, but of course that then translates to all other martial arts as well. These are going to be the hip flexors and kind of a forwards opening of the hips this way, the mid and lower back rotation this way, the shoulders, the ankles, and the groin and inside of the legs and hamstrings, these kind of areas. Okay, so these are the areas that I'm going to cover. It's going to be very quick, and the first one is this one here. So I like to get into a lunge position from here. Back knee can rest on the floor. I lean forwards because what I want to try and do is get my knee to go beyond my toes this way. Okay, because what I'm getting here now is a stretch in the hip flexors of the back leg, the one that's extended behind me. I'm getting a little bit of a stretch on my calves as well here, and my ankle as I'm trying to push over that position there. And then I'm going to take my front hand, open my hip up a little more. So I can take the foot out slightly to aid that. I'm going to push my knee outwards. So I'm opening my groin. I'm going to take the opposite hand and throw it round in a slow circle this way. Okay, and as I do that, I'm following it with my head. So everything is kind of open up. And I feel like I'm prizing my body open with this hand here on the knee. And then this hand is stretching as far back as I can. So I'm rotating around there. All right, so again, from this position, the knees pressed over the toes as much as possible. Front hand is pressing the knee outwards, and I'm coming around with that stretch, or that arm, and I'm following it around with my eyes. Nice twist in the upper back, twisting, opening up, pushing against that front knee still, and come round. That makes 1 repetition. So as I bring my arm around, I count that as 1. I would usually go 6 or 8 times. It kind of depends on how you feel really. And when you feel kind of opened up or stretched enough, you can move on. Make sure, of course, that we do both sides. So as I said, we're going to be covering the ankles as well. I mean, the last stretch it kind of hit a lot of areas really. So that's quite a nice movement to open up with, to be quite efficient with your time. So the next one here is going to be more of a deeper ankle stretch or calf stretch. So what I want to do is get close to the wall, push my toes, or get my toes so they're facing straight into the wall this way. Okay, I don't want to open them up at all really, give any angle to that. I want to have it straight to the wall, and I want to press into the wall this way. So I'm just putting a bit of weight forwards, but really my feeling is pushing that heel back into the ground. And from here, I can lean into the wall a little bit closer. And to intensify that, I can then bring the back foot up on top and try and push my hips downwards into that stretch here. Okay, I don't want to have my hips sticking back because that's releasing the calf. I want to be pressing straight into that position here so we get a nice stretch in that ankle. Now, what we can do from here is to take it for a range of motion, so we can go into that stretch and then come up into a calf raise. Come down, come all the way into that stretch at the bottom, and then come back up into a calf raise again. So down, push that heel to the floor, and then raise up. To increase the stretch, we can come further from the wall, so we're getting an even deeper stretch in the calf. To reduce it, we can come closer to the wall. But important point really is to get that hip forwards. Yeah, we don't want to have the sort of hip sticking backwards this way. Again, with the calf raises, 5, 6, 10 reps, whatever. The number of repetitions is not overly important. It's more about the motion and getting the body mobilized. Just a quick mention on my partnership with Art Martial Clothing, a martial arts inspired lifestyle brand. They sent me a new hoodie, which is a really nice design. I think it's my favorite one so far. Really nice to train in. I'm going to put a link in the video description with a discount code for first time customers. They also have an offer where if you spend over a certain amount, you get a free t-shirt as well. So check that out. They're helping to support the channel. So have a look and show your support. So next we're going to take care of the shoulders. I've done this quite a few times on this channel before as well, but I think it's a great stretch. It's really, I've been using it for quite a few years now in the gym for improving my squat rack position and overhead kind of movements, but also to improve my shoulder mobility and range of motion for karate. So we can either use a belt or a resistance band or even a towel or something like that. I'm going to use a resistance band for this demonstration here, but I want to bring the arms or bring the band in front of me, extend the arms straight. So I want to lock my elbows straight here. I don't want to bend in my elbows at all. From this position here, I'm going to bring my arms overhead and try and keep them straight and go all the way around here. The resistance band is a little more forgiving than the belt because it will stretch at the top, of course. So from here, I'll come back, feel the stretch in my chest and shoulders, and then back over. This is really nice to open up the entire upper body, really. I do this quite often before karate, and also, like I said, in the gym, before and after a chest session or a shoulder session, and a squat session as well. You know, like I say, the squat rack position where I'm getting under the bar and trying to get my elbows and shoulders back. It's really nice to kind of open up the shoulders and chest for that position. Yeah, these are called shoulder dislocations. So what I'm doing again is I'm here, going over the top and back. You can do them a little faster, or you can do one arm at a time. Here, just to sort of change that stretch up. I'll do a bit of both really. I'll just mix and match. So I'll go a few of these and I'll come over the top here. A little bonus one while we've got the band as well is we can just hit those rotator cuffs and rear delts a little, just pulling out this way, just to fully warm up that warm up those shoulders and upper back a little bit. Now moving on to the next one, to the fourth one. I like to use a weight for this because that helps to keep me over the, the back foot, as I'll show you. But this is called a Cossack squat. So I'll start with my legs apart this way, toes pointed out slightly. And what I want to do then is sit over to one side here, okay? The weight is keeping me from falling backwards from here. So that's a nice ankle stretch and drive back up. It's hitting the ankles on this side, getting some range of motion around the ankle joint there, but predominantly it's hitting the hamstrings on the extended leg. So again, I'll take the weight and I'll sit down to the side and I'll just kind of let the weight pull me down. Okay, we don't need to use a weight, but for me, I just prefer it. I'll just come down here, sit nice and low into that position and drive back up. I want to keep my toes facing the ceiling in order to fully lengthen the hamstrings underneath there. Okay, coming back up and coming back down again this side. Okay, so we can alternate sides. We can make all on one side, and we can use a weight or we can not use a weight. But this is one of my favorite stretches as well, to open the hips up really nicely for kicking. And after doing it, I feel very flexible and ready to go. So the final stretch, I'm going to come down to the floor for, as I said, it's going to hit the mid and lower back and kind of improve that torso rotation that is so important in all our kicking and our punching. So we're laying our front this way, okay? I want to bring my arms out to the sides, and from this position, I'm going to try and take my opposite foot over to my opposite hand. So I want to push over here and let the upper body just rotate with it. Let the weight of the leg twist my back or stretch my back there. I can kind of just rock into that slightly if I want, and take a deep breath. I want to fill the lungs up and just breathe out and allow that stretch to go a little deeper. And then from here, I can come to the other side. Same thing. Ideally, I want to try and keep this shoulder on the floor, but I allow it to move if I feel like I need that for the stretch. So this way and back down again. And I'm just pushing over to one side. Also, as a added bonus, as I'm keeping my shoulder flat on the floor, I'm getting a nice stretch in the shoulder and the bicep as well. So I'm coming this way and just coming over, stretching that lower back. From here, we can also just push up into an arched position, just get that stretch as well. We can bring our hands nice and close to extend that a little higher, or we can bring the hands further away to make it a little bit less intense. But nice little stretching motion there to kind of open the back up, maybe alleviate some back pain as well. Bonus tip as well. If you have the time, so you've done your 5-10 minutes of work, now's the time when you're feeling very mobile and opened up to start practicing some of your kicking movements. And just stay very light. We haven't got to be heavy or nothing, just kind of nice, light kicking actions here, just throwing things out, just practicing motions and just working through those motions there, just keeping yourself nice and fluid. Yeah, so you're just making use of that kind of slight temporary increase in your range of motion to improve your kicking technique. There you go. There's 5 movements there. They're not all stretches as such. Some of them are kind of more mobility type, moving, flowing drills. But they would take probably 5 to 10 minutes of your time. So a little bit of a warm up, get your body moving about a little bit, but you can just kind of gradually move into them really. If you've had if you're doing it later on in the day, your body's probably warm enough for that. But doing that on a consistent basis and, regular basis, a number of times a week, it hasn't got to be every day. You don't have to do anything every day to get better. In the end, that's going to lead to burnout. So I would sort of say maybe 4 or 5 times a week would be perfect for this. You will see benefit if you are intentional with these movements. Intentional meaning I want you to kind of feel like you are progressively trying to improve the range of motion each time you do it. Without pushing too hard and causing injury, of course, but gradually trying to work into that motion a little bit deeper or a little bit more movement every time. Okay, so if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment, tell me what you thought of the video, and I'll see you next time.